All right, come on, Instagram. I believe in you. Hey, everybody, hold tight. Come on now. There we go. Instagram's usually the first one to fire up here.
Am I really backwards? You should have told me not to wear colors or wear numbers.
You got to wear the safe color, beige. Okay, we are live. Hey, everybody. I'm Nick Slavic. I'm the proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company. We are in my Slavic shop, office, and shop right here. This is Ask a Painter Live. This is a weekly live Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we're going live on TikTok on my phone as well here too. And this show has been going on for 9.5 years. There's over 500 episodes broadcasted weekly, so 504, whatever this is. And we talk about the life of a master craftsperson, a paint business entrepreneur, and then everything else that goes along with it. And guest today, friend of mine, colleague of mine, Ian Serp, 6 letters, 1 vowel.
9 total. Middle name's 3 too. Yeah.
The most efficient use of letters in the human language.
Yeah.
Ian is a very close friend. He's a colleague of mine. He's my number 1 estimator here. And he achieved something very big this last year, and we're going to talk about it together. And we're also going to, you guys hear me blabber on about job costing, production rates, unit pricing, all this other stuff that we do. This is the product of all that sort of stuff. Like in practice, I'm not the one who does the estimates. If we relied on me to sell jobs, we would all be homeless right now. So this is the guy, and Estimator Tom, my other colleague, who gets it all done. So whatever questions you have, you're looking at 2 humans plus Estimator Tom and a company that has solved what do you charge for X. We can solve it for anything on the planet through our little systems right here that we've all developed together. So whatever questions you have about any of this stuff, we are here for you guys. Get all those questions ready. But first, the Super Bowl is coming up, and not the one with balls. The one for paint. Ian's a sports guy, and this is endlessly fun to me because I am sports. Love sports, the sports matches. They're the greatest thing ever. These guys always talk about the sports games in the shop, and I just zone them out or tell them to go outside. The real Super Bowl is coming up, and it's not the one with the Tom Brady and whatever else is playing. This is the one where Matt Kuiper will be at. This is the PCA Expo. This is our Super Bowl. We're going to have 1,000, 1,500 paint businesses there from all over the country, all over the world. Huge Australian contingent. There'll be Brazilians there. Our dude Carl from Iceland is going to be there too. Like people from all over the place are coming here, and it's going to be an absolute blast. You're talking, let's see, not next week. The week after is the Expo. Day 1, Monday, is all-day board of directors meeting. It will be my formal, final, last meeting as the chairperson of the PCA. There will be a formal election. I will be dethroned, decrowned. I will stay on the board with a vote as past chair, but I will relinquish that to the next leader who is much better and much more vocal than I am about what we do. The next 3 days are super hardcore education, which I am going to share for you guys. The PCA has an amazing website for all this stuff. So anything that you need as far as that goes, you can see the PCA's website here, all this stuff. Also the agenda, the parties, there's Disney tickets to be had. There's other, all sorts of, Epcot, Orlando stuff right there. But the whole itinerary is here. And let's get back to my streaming platform here. And whole agenda, day by day, hour by hour, everything is here for you guys. And you will notice that on the, 19th? Right here, folks, becoming a manager, a case study. This is me right here. And this is my mentor, Dr. Jeff Cornwall. He is a retired entrepreneurship professor. He has created big businesses, sold big businesses, and he personally mentors me. And so if you want to see a class about how I get coached in the most brutal micro level, I would urge you to go there because this is not going to happen again. This is a one-off. I had to sweet talk Dr. Cornwall into coming out of his retirement and doing one of these with me. And you're going to get some insights that you will never get again, that you have never got, and you're probably not going to find anywhere else. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be, he is my therapist. He is my confidant. He is my brutal mentor. And he's one of the reasons why we are who we are, and I am who I am right now. So you're going to see his exact thoughts about personally mentoring and coaching me over the last 4 or 5 years and through some of the biggest transitions in my company. And we have achieved some pretty big things together, and not all of them I've put on social media, and we're going to share with you there. So without further ado, let's get into this. Mr. Ian, who are you? Where did you come from? How did we first meet? Just that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess 4 years with you.
Just had your 4-year anniversary.
Yeah, January 31st. If you want to go all the way back, I was born in 1984 in Marshalltown. Just kidding.
No, that's fine too. Yeah.
Born in Iowa. Everybody's got a fault. That's mine.
Oh, that explains a lot.
It does. Yeah. Packer fan.
Sorry, Phil Klein.
Yeah. Yep.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. We don't know sports. Been in sales for actually 20 years in September of last year in some capacity.
So you're one of those greasy salespersons.
Yes. Got fired from my first job because I wasn't greasy enough. Ended up kind of going some different routes. I went into the newspaper industry for a year. I was a sports editor for a small county news organization there. Worked for a TV company as an account executive. Realized I couldn't sleep at night running like that. Went back to furniture, which has been most of my life. Was there for about total probably 13, 14 years, 6, 7 years.
6, 7 years, give or take.
Then out of the blue, I wouldn't say headhunted me by any means, but cousin Andy decided to kind of check in with me. You had me come over. We sat down at Geese and Roy for
the brewery,
half an hour.
Yeah. And probably more than that. Yeah.
And I think the next day I put in my notice and started up here. And it's funny because I think the first time I interviewed with you, it was for project management. Yeah,
at that time we were kind of growing and oscillating, and I was switching people out of the team. And I think there was probably a project manager position open. But so you let me know. I always love doing this too. Like when we had Jack on here a little while ago, we went back because I forget a lot of the stuff because I'm in the maelstrom of just like there's so much stuff going on all the time.
Yep.
I seem to remember the first conversation where I just started realizing the power of network. And so I asked somebody I trusted, we need one more person. Doesn't matter who. There are no project managers. There are no estimators that are trained the way we train, doing what we're doing. They just don't exist in our industry. So we got to make our own. So we're just looking for decent human beings. You know, we've always worked on that principle.
Yep.
So this person I trusted mentioned, I got this crazy cousin from Southern Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, just have him up for a beer. So I remember at that time, it was less sniffing you out. It was a little more of like, there is a position. It's not right now. It's in a little bit though. I feel like we were planning ahead, right?
Yep. So what had happened is I interviewed for that project manager job and you called me 3-4 days later. Now it's ringing a bell, isn't it?
That it all comes back now.
It's funny because I was still ripping cigarettes at that time and I was out having a smoke break. And you called me, and I remember my heart just freaking out because I was nervous. It was. But you said, Ian, I don't do this often. I did find somebody else for the job, but I want to let you know there is a position for you here. I just haven't found it yet.
Yep.
And I remember feeling good, I think, at the time. Was like, man, this guy at least, called me, told me.
Oh, yeah.
But the majority of my sales career, and a lot of salespeople will tell you this, they've been strung along.
Oh.
There've been this, hold tight.
Yep.
So I kind of put it to the back. And then, it was like, I don't know, probably 6 months later, you reached out and said, hey, we got an estimator position. Why don't you come up and have a beer? And that's when it happened.
So that was the second Geese. Oh yeah. Cause I remember that second one a lot more than the first one.
Yep.
Thanks for tying that together. This is great for perpetuity. So I remember in the second one, this is a time where recruiting was infinitely difficult. Like we were, 4 years ago, this was like height of COVID, right?
Yeah.
Recruiting was an effing disaster. I used to, and I wrote about it in One Page Weekly today, it used to cost me $5,000 worth of ad spend and my effort to get one mediocre human to attempt to work for me.
Right.
And then it was only a 10% hit ratio, whether they would stay 6 months or not. So it was just like this slog. slog, and you had to be upbeat and a good manager. Meanwhile, you're going to spend 40 grand this year, and one person might stay a year, give or
That's
take.
wild.
Not even on their wages, just on getting them in. And then
Yeah.
you still have to pay their wages and all this other stuff. So
Yeah.
I seem to remember I'm saying this because my headspace was, we need this position. And I remember the conversation going very slow, and I was very plodding. I'm trying to soften you up. And at some point you're like, yeah, I'll just do it. And I was like, oh, that's it? Like, oh, I prepared myself for like this court case of like, here's all the reasons you should. And I'm like, ultimate persuade. I was putting on my salesperson hat and be like, all these things and stuff and this. And you're at some point you're like, yeah.
See, but that actually leads into, you don't have to be a salesperson in order to have people, come to your side.
Yeah.
It's, be yourself, show empathy, listen. There's that old adage, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen twice as much as you're talking. And to be quite frank with you, I would have never done it 6 years ago. You would have found me 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I was comfortable doing what I was doing. There was no risk. I knew what I was doing. I had knowledge of it.
I felt like you made a little nest somewhere in the furniture store, right?
I did. Yeah. I was there. It was just what I did. And I know my wife's watching, and she's probably going to get upset, but she was the one that said, Ian, you can do it.
Thank God.
Yeah, you can do it. And not only can you do it, you can be great at it. And I believe in you. Damn. And I married her a few years later.
You have to after that.
Yeah, it puts you in a position. Kind of got to do what you
somebody gives you good advice like that. Yep. Keep them around for a while.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Okay, so and another, now that I think about it and say out loud, what a great lesson in selling from a place of confidence versus desperateness.
Yes.
Right? Like it comes off completely different, right? Yep. And what a great thing to know that, you're operating a system, you're on a journey, we have a purpose in life, there's a purpose to this business. If this one doesn't work out, it ain't up to me. Moving on. Do the same system, find the same people, but coming out of a place of desperation, you're hanging your entire life on this one sort of interaction and stuff like that. So
it was scary, to be honest with you. It was.
I think everybody was.
Yeah.
It was just a weird time where it's like, I knew that I had to get this business to a certain size. And meanwhile, somebody's like, here's a global pandemic for you. And we're also going to offer all your employees unemployment. So, but you need to race to grow your business to this next size. Otherwise, you can't sustain what you're doing right now. It's like, oh, all right. I got that too. So, okay. Now you've sold more of your life than I have. I have estimated because I created a painting business, and out of necessity, you have to do estimates to get paint jobs.
Yes.
So I was just like, I didn't see myself as a salesperson. I didn't see myself as an estimator. You know how I feel towards people who are very high I on the disc and salesy. Mm-hmm. We don't get along that well. Mm-hmm. And so before you met me, you had spent a lot of time selling. How did you sell? What did you think about selling? Like, what was it, transactional? Was it relational? Like, what was your relationship with all that stuff?
Yeah. Well, I told you I got fired from my first job. I never thought I would be a salesperson. I've been an introvert my entire life. It's not something, I guess, they talk about people being natural born salespeople or natural born. They have just charisma.
If you got that disc profile for it. Yeah. There's some people that just do
it. I never did. It's always likable. For the most part, it's kind of waned with the years. But I never thought I'd do it. And I think my first experience was, again, just be yourself, sell. But without knowledge, without the tools in your tool belt, not a lot you can do with that. So first job, got fired, ended up getting married 3 months after that.
Dang.
Yeah, to my first wife. Talk about some moguls, right?
What a whirlwind.
Had my daughter. Life kind of got crazy, but got back on the horse. And a lot of people will take, I got fired, it's not for me, as just gospel. That's not, you tell me I can't do something. In fact, the guy who fired me said, maybe sales just isn't cut out for you, or you're not cut out for sales. And I remember leaving, being upset, but also like, no, I'm going to show that guy. And still to this day, I know who he is.
That's awesome.
I think he's dead. Not sure, but I still think about him. I still think about that conversation. It's something that drove me to succeed. My second furniture job was the one that really kind of got me in, and that's who kind of showed me you can sell with ethics. You can be empathetic. You can treat it relationally, but also transactionally at the same time. Some people want a transaction. Some people want a relationship.
Yeah.
I would have people that would wait hours for me to finish with another customer or two and come help them because they had it worked with me before. Repeat business has been I would say it's been really the biggest part of my sales career is having people who build the trust, genuinely build the trust, not words that'll get you in and all of a sudden you're just this guy that's there for him. Genuinely build trust.
Yeah, genuine is a really heavy word because you can say, well, we build trust. Well, there's trust where I trust my neighbor to not burn down my shop, but hopefully. I'm not letting him watch my kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like as much as I trust him to not come over here and with a warring faction take over my property, there still are levels. Genuine trust is, oh my God, he's a great guy. Hey kids, you want to go over there and talk to the you know, that sort of thing. So,
I would get invited to weddings. I would get invited to just barbecues, all sorts of things. And, you know, like I told you, I'm an introvert. I'll figure out a way to get out of those things. But the invites were there. The people were there. And my sales strategy, my entire career is just listen, solve problems. And I know that's cliche, but it's not at the same time. There's a reason cliches are cliches. They're true.
Can you do it every time for eternity? And you'll do 800, 900 estimates this year.
Yeah.
Can you do it every single day of every year? Not I'm having a bad week. You have a bad week. That's 20 potential estimates that are shot.
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing. And you know, like we transactionally sell, but we form relationships over a long term because the product of what you and Tom have done over the last bunch of years is that last year, 50%, 2 years ago, 50% of all of our revenue came from word of mouth, repeat referral. Last year was 62%. Right. That is, at our size, is monstrous to move that. I mean, that's like another $320,000 that we created just because we transacted, but we transacted in a way where people will then call you back relationally. Right. So, All right. So let's tell people, I put a very provocative title in here. You are a 1%er, Ian.
Yeah.
What are you a 1% at?
Well, one thing, really, I mean, I guess just selling paint jobs.
You are ranked in the world through Paint Scout, our software, and you're ranked high enough where, there's some guys out there, weirdos who sell 4 jobs, $8 million a year. That's like this. That's commercial and industrial. That's a whole nother world. You're doing $5,600 transactions on average, right? You have fostered some commercial relationships into very big jobs, but your main bread and butter, the vast majority, 80, 90% is literally, we're talking residential repaint transactions. So a lot of the times when we talk about 1%ers, guys who sell a ton of work, it's like, we know friends. Like our friend, Matt Kuiper, was ranked #1 in the world. He sells $1 million paint jobs, right? Like you would have to sell, you would have to probably sell 300 paint jobs to get to $1 million. It's an insane amount of paint jobs, right? So, probably 200. And so when you think about what you've done, you are ranked nationally, so much so that when I went to go visit the guys at Paint Scout, the founder sent you a message congratulating you on that, because of the people who do it professionally, consistently. They only use Paint Scout. They clock all the revenue through there, and they're not just big industrial guys who do water towers. You are ranked in the 1% of people who can actually put up revenue, actual sales, not number of estimates, not number of revenue estimating, not close ratio, not success ratio, like literally just putting up transactions. 90% of the painting industry is res repaint, and you are in the top 1% of that. How say you about that?
I mean, it's flattering. Again, I guess I'd tell you 5 years ago, if you would have asked me where I'd be in 5 years, this isn't where I would have said I would be.
Nobody would.
No.
Your job doesn't exist outside of a few companies in the U.S., right? There's not many people who have estimators.
And it's humbling, honestly. I knew nothing about paint when I started. I think I told you that all I knew about paint was I tried to paint my hallway and didn't finish it. I have immense amounts of respect for the craft, the people that are able to do it. I know my lane. I enjoy it. And I guess the biggest thing is you can't be afraid of rejection. I've been afraid of failure most of my life, which I think is healthy. But being afraid of rejection will create paralysis in you. You will not do things that you know you can do just because you're scared.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have met my wife if I was scared of rejection.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't come talk to you. I was scared of failing the interview, but I wasn't scared to have you say no. That's something that I've worked really hard on.
It's interesting too, because you don't think about it that often, but you're basically going on 800 to 900 dates a year. 60% of them are going to say hell no.
Yeah.
Or never get back to you, which is even worse. Like, because
just leave you hanging.
Dude, a yes or a no to me is like,
give me something.
That's job done. Like I consider your job, and backed up by Paint Scout, this was a piece of knowledge they gave me. An estimator's job is to bring it to a final conclusion, yes or no. It's not always just yes, right?
Yep.
Because if you close 100% of your jobs, we got a problem.
Yes.
We got a big problem. So it's to close the loop. But more often than not, 60% of the time, somebody is going to ghost you or say no. So you, by necessity, you have to have a thick skin, and you need to be able to say, well, I did 10 estimates today. 6 of them told me no, but look at these 4 relationships I just started. And then to get up the next day and take 6 no's again, 6 no's. I mean, just over and over again. So I think people,
lots of no's.
I don't think people give that the proper weight, right? So if you were to just walk up to somebody and say, hey, do you like my truck over here? Or do you like me as a person? They'd be like, no. You'd be like, oh God, you'd be like, hard.
Crush you.
Yeah. You get that a few times a day.
I'll take it. It's like being around your kids.
It's in context, and you chart out what a win is. So let's talk about we're going to talk about when you first came on to the company, what your impressions were. I'm going to see what questions we have, things like this. Let's see. Oh, Dana. Ian actually met my parents before me.
Oh, yeah.
And recognized him after one interaction with him. I know him. He sold us our couch. I love that.
Yeah.
Dana's the best, man. We love Dana.
They knew me before Dana did.
That's so awesome. Yep. All right. You guys got any questions for one of the best estimators on the planet? Get them in the comments here. Tim Strom. Hey, buddy. How's it going? David Francis. Hello, Nick. Have you ever sneezed on camera? You should have seen the COVID years. It was pretty wild. Abby Milbreath. You must know Abby, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Abby. Ian is the best. I would say he's one of the best.
Yeah, one of the best is good. Listen, you can't give remember, many.
One thing I know is that you got to take it easy on the compliments with estimators and salespeople, because that's like pumping up their tires right there. So, you got to remember, we do the insult sandwich around here, which is, man, you didn't do as many estimates as you could. I mean, there was that nice one that came through, but I'm sure you can do better next week, right?
You could have got 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, I'm sure you could have closed 1 or 2 more. Just a little more effort.
What about that one I set up on a tee for you? What happened to that one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, this is a past client of mine. Listen, I used to give away all my work and do this, and why couldn't you just close it?
We did the whole first level for $1,100. Yeah. You should go out.
And now you actually have to charge them. Come on, what the hell's the problem now?
Get that closed up.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to discuss in this company. So, okay. When you first came here, you've never painted, you've never professionally estimated in our sort of way. What were your first impressions of coming into this industry, into this company, and working with me?
I guess I thought it would be a lot. I don't want to make this sound bad, but I thought it would be a lot harder to get things estimated. I thought there was going to be a lot of math. I thought there was going to be a lot of
like the technical, like the painting stuff.
Just a lot of measuring, a lot of analytical stuff. And the nice thing was, and what I found after working with you, is that was all done. Like the data points were there. And have we tweaked over the last 4 years? Absolutely.
And done, but also a lot of the stuff that everybody comes in here, like you get young Jack, the coordinator, and in order, his job is to answer the phone, do job costing, send out reviews, things like that. When he first came here, he was so concerned about what primer to use.
Yes.
Like, listen, man, I can appreciate that, and we can talk that over with a beer. That doesn't matter at all to your job. No. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I know we're a painting company. Your knee-jerk reaction is you love paint. That's a side project. Like, for you to be good at this job, it doesn't necessarily even deal with paint.
No. And like for me, it's the whole strategically vague thing. We use premium paints. Explain your process. Yeah.
In fact, we just created estimate folders for you guys, and there's one page with 6 coatings on it.
Yep.
We have 6 main standard operating procedures: ceiling, wall, trim, cabinet, full exteriors, and decks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are applicable to literally a Victorian mansion, a fence, a closet, a passage door, a window, plastic, wood, 6 things to rule the world, right? And there are 6 cans of paint on that thing. Mm-hmm. There is only 1 ceiling paint, 1 wall paint, 1 primer, 1 trim paint, 2 options for exteriors, depending on the type of siding, and then depending on what people want for deck stain.
1 sheen.
1 sheen. Yeah. Good point. We don't even give people. We don't even give, like, if you want your walls done, it's going to be emerald matte.
Yeah.
Like, there is.
If
no
you want
question.
to do flat, that's your issue.
Exactly. But that's why, like, we have solved with our standard operating procedures. 17 steps to paint a bedroom, 1 wall paint, 1 brush, 1 roller. It takes all this, like, good, better, best. I mean, this is a thing I wrestle with weekly. Painters ask me about good, better, best. How in the hell would you ever describe the difference between a good, a better, and a best?
It's like, so I always kind of, again, I spent 15 years in furniture. I always equate it to trying to explain somebody the difference between an 8-way hand-tied coil and, a box seat. It's just, they don't care.
These are the molecular science of oil primer and the things and the sticks, and
nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. I had all the knowledge in the world, but if I just rattled all that off, they'd say, great, well, F you, we're going across the street because that guy was cool.
I still don't know why it's $1,600 for that couch. And what I love when I go out and give my estimating master's classes, I describe mass production and mass customization. Mass production is what you did and what McDonald's does, which is there's a factory of stuff, and it's either not you're selling the things you were selling.
Yep.
There's a Big Mac and there's a couch.
Mm-hmm.
You can add a section, you can change it from tan to gray, but that's it. You go there for that couch. If you don't like that, I don't like this couch. I want there to be a button in the middle.
Yeah.
It doesn't have one.
Right.
There's no option. With us, people can ask whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
We go to them and we bring a product that has 17 steps to paint walls, but the walls are all different. The color's different. The shine's different. The prep level's different. So we take a customizable thing to a custom human in a custom setting and mass customize it, where we want to push it to give everybody the exact same process, the exact same outcome, but we got to tweak it because we're taking it to different places.
Correct.
Before, it used to be, these are my things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here are your 2 options,
Mm-hmm.
white or gray, you know? And so I love the difference of selling like that because it's a completely different relationship,
And this has been extremely different as well because, again, I go back to the getting fired. It was a motivator for me. I was constantly told that I wasn't aggressive enough, that you're not selling hard enough. Just my way of selling didn't work in the retail environment. So when I landed here, this isn't retail, my selling does work here. The way I do things does work here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm able to sleep at night. The freedom I have to be able to do things with my kids, all these things that have kind of evolved from being able to sell like I know I can.
Yep.
Totally different and totally awesome.
Why do you sell more than other estimators?
Honestly, I think it's the no fear of rejection thing. I really do. I don't care what day it is. As an adult with kids and a wife and a life and responsibility and all these different things, I like to say everybody wakes up and they don't always feel 100%. Like you wake up, I mean, if you're feeling 85, it's a good morning. You're not quite there, but
it's a better success ratio than your estimates.
About twice. But yeah, it's you get up and there was this viral guy that I think he was a Korean fella that did the doesn't matter if I'm depressed, whatever. It was a song. I do it anyway. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with, what you got going on. You just do it.
Just do it.
If you're doing it every single day, things will come. And when I first started, sales ratio is 25%, 30%. But you keep plugging away and keep learning these different things that you have to do. And eventually you get to where you're not exactly where you want to be, but you're working every day towards that. And if you keep doing those things, you'll be successful. And so when you say why do I think I'm successful, it's just doing it every day, just
trusting the process and just going forward.
Yeah, and it's always the same thing. I never have to walk into, and that's the other thing. There were SOPs kind of in retail where they'd tell you how, word tracks, ways to get people to think certain ways. But there was never anything really written down. This is how you do it. Yeah. And if you do this, and it was always if things start to go south, go back to 101. But if it's always 101, it's just the simple, this
But
101,
then you're just in
101.
triage. Then you're always just putting out fires.
Oh.
You're not progressing or leading or
Yeah.
with a firm hand, and all the principles that we sort of rely on. So yeah.
So yeah, it's just consistency, I would say, is the thing.
If you had to describe to the awesome painting contractors, many of them who are owner operators and do all the estimates, describe to them our estimating system. How do we come up with scope and price, and how do we present it?
Well, it's room equivalence, which if you go back to when you were asking me what I thought when I started, I thought that was insane. If I walk into a house and I see a living room and it's X price,
well, you and everybody else, because they'll start listing, but, and I'll say, I have 42,000 lines on a spreadsheet that says none of that shit matters.
Correct.
I can't show you the difference on this spreadsheet. Right. In your head, this is like the difference between, oh my God, how could you even start? And there it's like, I don't know, data says.
Yeah. So the process, I mean, I pull up to the house, I walk in, introduce myself. We start walking through the process. Let's just say I'm doing just a simple one. We're doing walls.
Yep.
3-story house. You got your upper, main, lower. I can get through that house with the client in 15 minutes.
Yep.
I can walk out.
And that's you slowing them down.
Right.
Because a lot of times the clients will be, they're 2 rooms past there and you're literally like, you haven't even taken a picture.
And the biggest thing with that is don't even entertain what they're saying as they're walking away from you. Stay where you are. The majority of the time, they're going to come back to you.
This is the thing that we train too. Yep. It was that whole thing where, again, I did this 800 times a year for 10 years. And you realize, like, oh my God, these people are so excited to see you. They're just like, they want to race through this. I have these 3 rooms here and there's this thing behind the door and there's this. And meanwhile, you're taking out your tablet and this and that. And what we always practice is, hey, I'll be right there. I just need to take down my notes and get some images. I'll be right behind you. And there's a process, just like you're describing, of telling them, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what happens next. And that sort of like brings the whole world of like, I am the leader here, or I'm the guide, and I'm going to help you get through this. So you're walking through the rooms like this, 15 minutes, basically, you can go through the whole house. Then what?
Then excuse yourself, say, hey, tell you what.
Oh, we should say this. You have a tablet, digital pen, you're taking images, and you basically just want raw images of the room, and you're just taking notes. Now, what you're not doing, if people have a inquisitive mind, is you didn't say laser measure, you didn't say tape measure, you didn't say anything else. Do you measure?
In my mind.
In your mind?
Yeah.
Why don't we measure?
Because it's not necessary.
Yep.
It's a living room is a living room.
Yeah.
It can differ by 15, 20, 30 square feet, but it's not going to change. The way I've kind of put it into my head is it's not the material. It's the amount of time you spend in a room. An extra X number of feet isn't going to change my price because it's just a little bit different. A room that's a little bit bigger and a room that's a little bit smaller, the average. It's the law of averages. It's the average.
Some powder rooms are 6 by 6 by 8. Some are 6 by 6 by 9. Yep. You could sit there and measure them all day and say, I need another $9 for this room. And you'd
not
be
necessary.
Like, meanwhile, you don't know that the client is getting 3 estimates and there's a 94% difference between the prices. And you're sitting there, it's just like choking yourself to death on $9. This one's $9 more. And I'm going to spend 10 minutes measuring that bathroom because I'm going to, meanwhile, you're twice of the person that they'll probably end up using. Anyway, we do unit pricing for that reason, because there is an overarching theory about what we do, which is what we do in the instance is largely transactional. Somebody wants a service done. We need to race to get to them as quickly and professionally as possible. And I want you guys within 1 hour to do whatever you need to do to build rapport, get all the information, create an estimate, present on the site, make sure that you have your priorities and all this other stuff, that you verify scope, you present the price, and you have time to answer questions on site. Because the one true thing that I know is that really good estimating teams will close about 40%. World-class teams will close about 50%. And we're trying to go from 40 to 50. But almost all the time, no matter what, you guys are in the low 40s. If we change everything we do, it's low 40s. If we do less, it's low 40s. If we do more, it's low 40s. So the strategy then is, how many estimates can we fit in? Since we're always going to close at 42, 43%, let's figure out a way to get through these as quickly as possible, personally, but then fit in another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a week. Because if you do 10 more, you just close 4 more every single week. And we win. The craziest math problem ever is the difference between a mediocre floundering company and a world-class company as far as revenue and profit is 1 job a week. at any size.
And you've been telling me that for 4 years.
Yeah.
Give me 2 more jobs a week.
Yeah.
Give me 1 job a week. And if you think about that, honestly, that's 52 jobs.
Yeah.
If you're talking about
and if
5
we're talking
grand,
exteriors,
yeah.
Average exteriors between 7 and 10 grand. So if you sell, if there's 52 weeks in a year, if you sell 25 interiors at 5,500 and 25 exteriors at 8 grand, you throw those in, one more a week,
$250,000.
That's more than what standard painting companies do in a year. So anyway, sorry to interrupt, but that's the reason, that's the philosophy that we operate under. And to people who don't do this or have not done it this way, it can seem cold-hearted and calculated. But in a day of Amazon one-click buying, people don't want to wait 3 weeks for an estimate.
No.
They don't want to spend 2 hours, and then they don't want to wait a week to get their estimate back.
Right.
By that time, they've already forgotten you, right?
Yep.
So literally right now, within 24 hours, you can be in their house, and within 1 hour, they get an estimate, and then the follow-up start.
Yeah, and honestly, and Tom would probably tell you the same thing. It's about 40 minutes on average.
Yeah,
and there's
100%.
times also, if it's just a simple wall and one level, there's times I'm in and out in 25 minutes.
Easily.
And
it's dependent on the client, really. Because, I mean,
really,
if the task is write down a price to paint the kitchen cabinets, you could do that walking up to the house.
Oh, yes. If you give me the number, you give me the number, I know the general size.
It's the easiest thing on the planet. But then you kind of go by, is this client like me, who wants a transaction, doesn't like eye contact? Like, dude, just give me the number. Can I trust you? Yes, good. Let me just digest this tonight. I'll call you back tomorrow. I'm decisive.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to ghost you, but I don't want this to be a 2-hour relationship.
Correct.
I don't have those many questions. Some people could care less. They only want to talk about your kids and your dog, and that is the sort of like chameleon thing that we work on a lot of the time.
And see, and that's, if you go back again, if you're asking me why I sell more, I'm able to look at the person, get a feel for them within the first 5 minutes, whether they do want a relational
for sure,
experience or transactional. And when someone wants a relational experience with you, you're obligated to provide that to them.
Oh, they'll be turned off if you don't make some connection.
Talk with them. Make them feel special.
Yep.
And you got to understand also, you said 800-900 estimates. There are 5 or 6 people every year that make an impact on me that I'll talk to. We just finished one up with Miss Seiler. Wonderful woman. Just fantastic. Can be a little bit difficult to work with at times.
She's needy of relationships, but she's a great human.
Wonderful. And absolutely made an impact on my life, her and her husband both. So you get a lot out of sales too. As a kid growing up, and the way you still feel about salespeople, you always kind of think they're just slimy. But I've met a lot of salespeople who are good human beings, and finding those. And I notice them when they come into my own home. Or waiters, we had one yesterday that you and I disagreed on. But
which is interesting because he does what I think you do, and you had an aversion to him.
Yeah. I think maybe I saw a little bit of me in him.
Oh, you're a little you're competitive.
It's like you want my job.
Was I smiling at him a little too? Hey man, how long you been working here? You ever see yourself in a painting coat?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I feel like you have to enjoy the people that you're going to talk to.
We are such a human-based business. Like, people don't understand. They fixate on primers and brushes, and they have wars about Purdy and Wooster and all this other stuff. Right. Meanwhile, they don't answer their phone. They're missing out on the entire thing. We are a people relationship management problem-solving company that happens to color houses for a living. That's our vocation. No different than a plumber, no different than Dairy Queen. People want ice cream. You can make it a miserable experience, or you cannot. It's the same thing. So, okay. So we estimate on a unit pricing thing. You're not worried about rejection, although I know it still does affect you, but I know you've built up a professional shield to it in the same way I have as well too. Do you think you have not seen very many estimators outside of you, me, and Tom, but we have done some estimating with some other companies. Are there some pretty stark things that we do different that you think we do different or know we do different?
Yeah. First off, Paint Scout. I don't want to go off on a tangent with it, but the ability to use Paint Scout to present, to put together your estimates, those types of things, it was a game changer for me going from Google Sheets.
That was a breath of fresh air.
That was unreal.
And although don't put down my G Sheets, they're fine.
I tell you what, by the time I was done with those templates and watching them go from here and having the equations no longer work because I hit too many buttons, that was tough. But I think what we do differently is we're not so obsessed with measuring, with the analyticals, all these different
even
things.
The coding systems.
Giving somebody 12 options of the type of paint you'd like to use is not, in my opinion, it's not what
people barely know what Sherman Wilson is.
Yeah.
Let alone the difference between cashmere, super paint, duration, and emerald.
And
they've never heard of an emerald.
And they've done studies before that say if you give people too many choices, they no longer have a choice.
100%.
It will stop someone.
Yes.
So if you say this is what we use, we're the professionals. Be the guide, like you talked about. Don't
be the Yoda.
Yes. You don't need to give somebody 15 choices. If you give them 3, we don't even give them 3. You get 1.
Yeah,
you can pick your color. You can pick your color.
Yeah, plenty of colors to pick from.
This is what we're using. I think, the stringent what's the word? Just the fact that we don't give so many options. There aren't so many things I need to go through when I'm there to make sure that I deliver a quality estimate and a quality experience, I think is
my favorite metaphor is concrete because it's infinitely relatable to this. So number one, when people, like if I want a concrete driveway, if we want to redo the parking lot out in front of the Slavic shop and we get a concrete estimate, could you imagine how shitty of a conversation that'd be? It's like, so what's your budget? Ian, I don't know a thing about concrete. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't make it. I couldn't do it. I don't know what it is per square foot. So now all of a sudden, as a consumer, I'm scared,
terrified.
So if I say something too low, what does the contractor say?
Well, he immediately shuts down.
Well, evidently you're not serious.
Right.
Well, listen, I don't think I'm the right guy for you. How do you know?
Right.
And what if I say something too high?
Then you're going to hit that number.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, let's do that. Like, wait a second.
Yep.
I haven't even met you, and you want to do it. So the concrete thing too is like, hey, listen, Ian. For your driveway, we have good, better, best. We have a 4-2 aggregate that's Red Rock from Brian's Red Rock. We got a 7-2 River Rock aggregate right here. We could do a 2.5-inch slab, a 3.5, or a 5.5-inch slab. We could do a broom finish. We could do a trowel finish. And meanwhile, you're just like,
no, you hurt my head.
How do I make a decision? How do I make a decision?
Yep.
I have no idea what the benefit of those is. I don't know what the cost to benefit ratio is. Is it incrementally $1 more a square foot and I get $1 more of value? Or is it $1 more a square foot and $2 more of value?
Sure.
See, and so now extrapolate that into using cashmere or duration.
Again, before I started with you, I didn't know what those two things were.
Nobody does.
No. And so my brother's an HVAC, he owns an HVAC company. And, to have him come into my house and me tell him, I know you want to use that, but I think I know a little better. So I want you to use this. Yeah. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I think just being the expert, being the guide is the way to just let people know they're going to be okay.
Let the client be the hero.
Yes.
Let them make the decision when they, we have 1,000 maxims in the company, but when they make the decision, they will make a better decision. Mm-hmm. And we need to limit that.
Yep.
So instead of, when we have conversations about paint, the 1 in 20 times where somebody actually says, I got a coupon for Sherman Wilson. Can I use that? And you're like, listen, it's God love you.
Paint.
Listen, I trust you because you know what? Most home service contractors are going to screw you. You should probably see if you could buy the paint then because they're going to get crappy paint. Problem is we buy $115 a gallon paint. Right. No client has ever bought that before. Right. And we give it to them at our price. So even when the coatings come up, we have a way of phrasing it, or at least I did when I used to do this, which is, listen, man, I could import paint from Europe and charge you more, but it's only going to last as long as this other stuff. I could use a lot lesser paint and you're going to get more fingerprints sooner. And for me, I pick something. There's times to buy ultra premium and there's times to buy middle of the road stuff. Our ceiling paint is by all means a really crappy quality level of paint, but it's the finest ceiling paint on the planet because nobody touches it. It needs to be flat white.
Don't want to put it on the walls.
Paint, that's where you get ultra premium. Correct. You don't need ultra premium ceiling paint. That's still flat white, right? Yep. So there's times where we mediate that and say, in our opinion, we can keep this price down as long as you don't touch your ceiling, which is the goal of most. Tom. Yeah, exactly. head drags against the ceiling all the time. Yeah. But as long as we can, as experts, we can moderate that, right? There are way more expensive enamels that we could do. We could import stuff from Europe and you're going to be affected by it. But in the end, your trim's going to be white and shiny. And as long as you don't hit it with a shovel, it's fine.
Yeah. It's, knowing exactly what we're getting. And again, after 4 years, knowing that it lasts, we don't get people calling 3 years later saying my cabinets look like crap, come back out here. Every once in a while you'll have somebody say, a little chip came out, but what's great is we use a product that you can fix that easily.
Exactly. We don't know how people are going to use their house.
And, this is something that I've never experienced in sales before, and accountability as a company, that if something doesn't go the way a client wants it to, we'll do whatever we can to make sure it's okay.
That is a perfect system in this. Nothing goes more than 2 weeks without being solved, ever.
Right. And a former boss told me this. He said, problems will happen. Clients know problems will happen. It's not the problem happening. It's how you respond to the problem happening. So you can fight them, you can scream, you can yell, or you can listen. If you listen, a lot of times you can solve the problem for a lot less than you thought you could solve the problem for at the beginning.
You were a good one that taught me that. You introduced this thing. Okay, one thing that I learned from having a callback is you need to let that person say whatever the hell they want to say to you.
Correct.
Once they get it out of them, they're kind of like, all right, I feel better. Do you feel better? I'm like, no, not really, but I'm glad you do. Now can we get to a solution? And that's just part of it, right? Mm-hmm. But you introduced me to a really good thing about solving these issues, which was what?
A lot of times folks just want to be heard, like you said.
100%.
And putting it back on them is the easiest way to do it. Don't automatically offer a solution, because a lot of times your solution is going far beyond what they're asking you to do. So if you say, listen, customer, client, what would make this right for you? And over 90% of the time, and this is experience, this isn't some random data point.
No, 100%. Yep.
Over 9 out of 10 times, that person is going to come back with something that's far less than you were willing to give up.
Yep.
And you can even get to the point where you say, you know what? And I've watched you do it
We've
before.
Done this before,
where, you know what? That's great. I tell you what, we'll do this as well.
I was just going to come back, because there's are times where, I get pretty hyper vigilant about justice, and I'm always want the opportunity to stand up for my guys when they do things right. But also, if a client's right and we're wrong, I want the opportunity to stand up for them. And there's many times where I used your principle of that, where you said, well, listen, I completely appreciate that. There is no excuse for that. You should expect better. That was not something that we pride ourselves in. You should have had a better experience. What can I do to make this right for you? And they'll say, listen, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. And I'll say, that's fine, but I'm scheduling Peter to come back tomorrow at 7 a.m. He's going to bring his artist brush and he's going to touch that thing up. So just let us do that and I'd feel better.
Yep.
And so we talked about my one-page weekly, the ledger. Mm-hmm. We're keeping a ledger right there. And I want to make sure that I'm always at least as generous as everybody around me. And with some people, way more generous. And with a client, if you don't question our core values or say mean things to my awesome people, I will be so overly generous that we know from doing this, there's a reason we went from 52% to 62% of repeat clients. It's because of stuff like that.
Right. And to have those people 3 years from now, 4 years from now, where it could have been a sour taste, they're going to find somebody else. They're going to say, man, it didn't go exactly how I wanted it, but they made it right. They'll call you back. They'll have you come back out. They're sweet. We just had one with the deck that we did a couple years ago, where she was very upset at the time.
Oh my God, this is a lady who weaponized me against on the internet, and she came back and she was like, "Oh, it's actually a pretty good job. I'm sorry, I just got a little heated."
the deck just wasn't what it should be.
Well,
and we went back.
It's a 1978. It's literally this is why God love people, and you never know what people are going through personally.
Correct.
Right? It could have been we just had one recently. 60-year marriage, death of a husband, and this person didn't act like a normal person, but it's understandable. They lost a life partner, right? That deck job was so hilarious to me because I love this person. I met her for some reason. I think we were on an estimate together for that one. Yeah,
we were. Yeah,
and I used this picture as one of the best before and afters we've ever done.
It was a great job.
And then she's like on the internet, like, this sucks, and I didn't like it. I'm like, what's not to like? Right. Like, did you? And again, we handled it perfectly. That's fine. Okay, you can choose to not like it, but we did everything correctly. Yeah, and then the satisfying thing, we waited out a number of years, and she's like, "Yeah, sorry about that."
I went in and I even led with it. I said, client.
Yeah, here's what you said on the internet about it.
I should have done that. Should have come in real hard. But I said, I first thing I said is I want to come in. First off, I want to see how your deck's doing. I want to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
What made you call me back out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because here we are. Well, and she came out with it. She said, the more I looked at it, the deck just isn't. It's old. The stain held.
It's
everything was done.
36-year-old deck.
Everything was done the way it should have been done. It's just it didn't hold up like I expected it to. Yeah. And that's where I kind of took it in. It's like maybe I didn't set proper expectations, but we just finished up her job again. She's over the moon happy. She got our wonderful Mikey on the job, and he did a great job.
That's what a mature company does. It's not fatwa against that lady, burn her down, block her on the internet. It's like, is there anything we could have done? Yeah. Like even in the wording, right? Mm-hmm. Like I use decks as a prime example in my estimating master's classes, which is when I used to estimate decks alone, I used to say, I'm going to give you the finest deck process you're already smiling because you know exactly what a client thinks when you say that.
Yeah. Which 15 years.
15 years. Yeah. Oh, sounds to me like that's 15 years.
Yep.
They don't say it. I don't say it. But they walked away with that assumption. And I take ownership of that, which is you did a wrong thing. Then I started printing out data sheets, and I have thousands of decks under my belt. And transparent, semi-trans, and solid, trans, semi-trans, every year, every 2 years.
Yep.
Solid every 3 years, give or take. Now, when we tell them that, we say we just got to be upfront and honest. Mm-hmm. You're such a stickler about your deck. If you want one of those beaded up carnauba wax decks, that's every year. Yep. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Callbacks on decks went zero after that. We used to get a callback 4 years later and somebody like, my deck doesn't look exactly like it used to. I'm like, holy crap, it made it 4 years? Right. That's awesome.
You're calling me after
wow,
4?
Damn. Yeah. Like you got the best. Like I was right. I gave you the finest deck stain. Yeah. But when you say just by your intentions not being aligned or giving them a false impression, you can set yourself up for failure.
Correct. Yeah.
This is the hardest cabinet coating that's ever been made. Give me a pan. Give me a pan and let me whack that cabinet door. And I'll tell you how hard there is no paint that will withstand a metal object hitting it. Doesn't all you fancy guys with your cross linkers and your this and that, and your chemistry and your pot life, if you hit it with a pan, it chips every single time.
And you don't want to treat your house like a museum. Use quality things. Let your kids be kids.
Yeah. Let them for families with kids.
100%.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Tommy Hill, I'm going to be Nick when I grow up. Careful what you wish for, Tommy. Love you, Tommy. Appreciate you very much.
Why not me? Come on.
Better facial hair.
Yeah.
All right. See what else we got. Oh, liquid paint. Oh, how's it going, man? Curious as to what your follow-up process is like and how frequent until you get a yes or no. So, Ian, I want you to answer the first part, potentially the second part, but I got data on the second part if you like. So, liquid painting on Instagram.
Really, so Paint Scout's been really nice. Yep. They do automated follow-ups, which I fought. Be straight with Nick. I've been very personal with my sales process my whole life. But then it's like, great, you like personal? Well, you're going to have to make 701 phone calls this week then. If that's your process. And that's just not reality. So having the automated follow-ups are really nice. Now, what I also do and what Nick's been having us do is calling these clients that have not reached out, that are kind of ghosting you. And what's been amazing these last few weeks, I think I've had six, seven, clients that have responded to those. Either they weren't getting the automateds because they'd go to spam or whatever it was, that have reached out and said, get me on the schedule. So what do we do? One day, 3 days?
Yeah. So week. Basically it's, I set up an automated system in Paint Scout where there's a very personally worded email that we actually mean and is true to the wording and of each estimator. There's a 6-month process of follow-ups. It's heavily weighted towards the front because we know where that's the decision's going to be. So it's really packed in multiple times a week at first, and then it starts spacing out. And then it's really only once every couple of weeks or a month. And then we give the final send off of like, hey man, it's been 6 months. If we haven't heard from you, it is what it is. So that's the automated side. You guys also selectively, there's actually a spot in your calendar to pick out 2, 3, or 4 ones that you really think are just, like you say, teetering right on the fence, or a special client, or our Ursula, or somebody like that you feel like, I just have a sneaky suspicion if I did 20 estimates last week, these 4 people, I just feel if I reach out to them, that's kind of what their personality likes, or it's a $30,000 exterior or something very important.
We like
those aren't bad either. But a combination of that. So you guys selectively snipe very personal things, knowing that we don't have time for all that. Then I do some email blasts once in a while. This is what Paint Scout is great for. You can query all those estimates and you can just say, give me all exteriors under $5,000 for the last 4 months that have not been accepted. Boom, copy and paste the emails. We send them an email saying, hey, your small exterior, we got room in the fall, that sort of thing. Now, craziest data point. Then I want to get to success ratio when they say yes.
Yep.
The craziest data point is something that you guys just gave for me, you and Tom, which is I took every single estimate. There's about 6 categories of estimates in Paint Scout. Only one of them is sold. All the rest of them postponed, didn't answer, declined. There's all these other things in there. I took the complete list of every estimate that was not sold, put it in a spreadsheet, gave it to you guys to reactivate. What has been your interactions with these people?
Are you wondering about the declined ones?
Yes.
Wild. The number of declined estimates that respond. And it's, Tom kind of really threw something for me, which is always fun. I love having somebody who hasn't been doing it as long as me, whatever sales is, kind of giving me a reason to think about things. And the number of people who declined that we contacted again, the ratio of those people
4 to 5 times higher than past clients.
It's unreal.
It's a crazy, listen, if I had to put chips on something that would get a good return,
it blew my mind.
It doesn't make any sense. No. We get about depends on the year, 2 to 5% success ratio with calling previous clients and asking them for estimates. Mm-hmm. So what that ratio means, if you make 100 calls, 2 to 5 will say either yes, or we'll take another estimate. Mm-hmm. When you guys do declined, by my math, based on what you guys are doing, we're getting somewhere between 11 and 15% success ratio. So that means for every 100 declined estimates, people who literally press decline on Paint Scout, you're getting 10 to 15 who not only want an estimate, you sold 2 or 3 in the last.
Yeah. Yep.
I never would have thought that.
Well, and what's crazy, and when you think about that, is the fact that a lot of those people declined because they thought they were going to do it themselves. That was the biggest thing that I found in mine was, no, we'll tackle it ourselves. Well, a year later, you still haven't done it.
It's more of like, I just didn't need it right then. Yeah.
And then when they realize I don't have the time for it, there are things I'd rather be doing. The next thing you know, you've got a declined estimate that's now, not only is it accepted, it's been past 6 months. So now you've got another 10%, whatever we're charging on top of it.
But this is, if you would have told me in December of last year that some of the most effective ways of producing more work this year is going to be going through people who have physically rejected your, not got back to us. These are people who went into Paint Scout and physically hit decline, and then they had to choose a reason why. Because there's an automatic email that goes back and says, why did you decline us? You know, that not only would you be getting them to be reactivated, but you're actually they're just selling. Mm-hmm. They're just buying. They're not saying, oh, sure, we can reestimate. They do that. But the number of people who actually just then buy whatever we estimated, I never would have guessed that in a million years. So again, as long as I've been doing this is why we do our experiments, because it's like, listen, we've gone over 6 years of completed clients, almost 3,000 clients that we have personally called and emailed since November. Mm-hmm. We have gone the cycle. And then once we get to 2019, 18, the data gets a little maybe
squirrely.
Nick didn't, it was a
maybe that was a handwritten one.
We had some handwritten stuff back then, not that long ago, but we already did the cycle and winter's only half over. So we were looking for something new to do. So I said, well, how about all these estimates we did that? And so they've never been, so our previous clients are a thing that project managers and you have relationships with. The estimates, they don't even know anybody else exists in the company. Correct. So we only gave them to you guys because it'd be weird for a stranger with a strange email address to call you. So that's why we did it with you guys. But there's something there, and it makes a little bit of sense to me, but it's not obvious to me why that is. I think if we think about it more, we'll get it. And if you guys get some anecdotal data points, but I never would have put my chips on that being the most successful.
And again, 20 years of selling to people, and I would have never thought to go back through my log of people who told me no in the furniture world and said, did you find something?
And then never stayed in contact. Right. These aren't people who stay in contact with us. They just press no, and a year and 2 months later, you call them, they're like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's
okay. I mean, yes, that was our thing, but wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Happy to do it.
It's amazing. So, okay. Dana.
Again.
Oh, hey, there's somebody named Dane Naukland.
Yeah, it's not related to me.
How do you help a client if they don't know what colors they want or have questions about things like that?
Actually, it's funny. Marketing Mason,
Yeah.
just put together a one-sheeter.
For everything.
Yep, that helps with cabinet colors, wall colors.
Deck stain coming up shortly.
Yep, and I use it a little bit. I've got enough time working with clients that if they give me a starting off point, I can help direct them. I don't like to give people opinions on colors just because, and it's the old line that I look at it once. I saw your house once, I look at the color once. I have no skin in the game. So you have to look at it every day. So I'd like you to pick your color, but I can absolutely help. If they don't want to do the neutrals and they want to do certain colors, there are colors that we use a lot
100%,
that I can absolutely direct people to. Somebody did this. We have before and afters where people
a realtor
can
says,
see.
we need to gray this house out.
Agreeable gray, accessible beige. Those
repose
are,
beige, or repose gray. Yep, exactly. Hammer them.
Yep.
So we have what's interesting is that doing, we get 2,400 leads, 1,800 estimates, 550, 600 closed jobs here every year. And we're going to be a little bit Brady yet. So so we'll, through all those data points every single year, what we find out is that the number one concern of all clients is what color to choose. And the problem is, for the first 10 years of this business, I gave everybody a free personal color consult. And I developed a very beautiful database system to do that. And it's great. Obviously, we can't continue that, right? No. And certainly when you go to charge for it, that limits it right away. Correct. If when you say, well, now it's $100, well, 90% of them drop off right away.
Well, I've been doing that on the side. Yeah. I'm just getting those checks.
Well, I mean,
make your money, right?
Congratulations.
Just kidding.
I'll make you a subcontractor.
Right.
No, but you realize that color is the number one concern. When we list our promises to our clients, the number one promise we make is we help with color. What that doesn't mean, a lot of painters think that we choose the color for them. We do not. Right. We have three options to convey color. You give us a color. You just hand us a chip. You give us a color name, number, manufacturer. We can give you a free virtual from Sherwin-Williams, which is the greatest thing on earth.
Which actually, that was something you want to talk about being at the beginning. I thought that was just just send them to Sherwin though.
Great. It's some AI bot.
But it's fantastic.
It's a real designer who helps
you. They do
and
great.
Number three, we have the greatest list of color consultants, especially LJ, Leah Jones.
Leah Jones,
she is a savage. She is so effective. She is the chameleon. I've never seen a human put together better colors in a home before. Yeah. They're just stunning. And she takes things that we normally just ordinary things and ordinary colors and puts them together in a way based on the client's personality in the house. And you're just like, universal khaki, the Johnstons. I just walked through that house. Universal khaki, Sherwin color of the year. In the 90s, every house was this color, right? And we got so sick of it that every calf poop brown, and we got so sick of it. She spec'd an entire house of this stuff. I've never seen a more beautiful color in the house.
It looked great.
She got the client's personality. She got the house, trim colors, cabinet colors, furniture, and it's stunning.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Tony Taupe is another one.
Tony Taupe's a good one, too.
We see a lot of that.
And so, but we have those three options for people. So that's how we help. And so we don't pick it for you, but nobody has better or more solutions than us. Right. And there's free options and there's paid options and there's everything in between. So, which is really good. But we help solve that. So, all right, Ian, we're rounding it out here. We're over the hour mark. You think about some final words, some final advice for these poor people who really struggle with what do you charge for X? And I'm going to talk about the Expo, and then we'll get back in here and finish this show up here. So, all right, everybody. PCA Expo. I urge you guys, this is the Super Bowl of what we do. This is the largest, best, and most educational event that there is all year. Your life will be changed. The people that I've met, the things that I've learned, the things that I've been exposed to, you will never be exposed to on a virtual episode of Ask a Painter. You will never get it on a webinar. You will never get it from trolling social media. There are certain things that happen in person that are pure magic. And the PCA Expo is the magic setup where we get the place, we get the coffee, we get the cocktails, we get the food, we get the humans. And it's like throwing nitromethane on conversations. You've been there. It's the most amazing thing on the planet. So I will say this. I know it's money, I know it's time, but so is everything else. For the cost of one really nice paint sprayer, you can have a world-altering experience that will change you for the rest of your life. This is probably my 8th, 9th, or 10th Expo. I still look at my notes from the first Expo, and I look at notes from the Expo, from every Expo since. I look at the images and the videos I took and the notes I took, and they are so foundational to what I do now, and just doing it over and over. And I've made lifelong friends in that process as well. So, having said that, Ian, the proverbial question: what do you charge for X? People struggle with this. There's wives' tales about it. What is your best advice to people out there who believe they have secrets, who believe that it's impossible to talk about price because you live in a town 8 miles away, or for people who genuinely just don't know where to come up with it? Like, how do we get over this head trash?
Well, one, it's trust yourself, believe in yourself. But you go back to the whole data point thing. If you're not doing the job costing, if you're not doing the things that give you the data that you need to put these things together, and if you're wasting 2 hours in a home for a $2,000 bid where you're measuring every single room, you're cutting out 400 estimates you could be doing a year.
400 humans you could be helping.
Right. And when you really think about it, you talk about a family with, 2 adults and 3 kids. Those are 5 lives that are affected by what you're doing.
They're probably going to get their house painted, and the vast majority of home service contractors are pirates, and will give them a bad experience and bad value.
Right.
So we fight because we know we are the trustworthy ones. We want to get our services to people. This is a thing that actually works, and people actually like us.
Yeah, and stay consistent with it too. You start missing, and you have a week where you sell 1 out of 10. If you have that knee jerk reaction like, oh, I'm overpriced. Oh, I got to do something. I got to change something. Stick with it. Give it a little bit of time. It's like anything in life. You don't like something the first time you try it. If you don't do it again, you're missing out. Yeah. Try it again. Try it again.
And job costing will be this thing where it'll prove to you what you can't go below. So then at some point, it'll make you find more opportunities, which is, just because somebody calls you for a paint job doesn't mean they're a customer.
No.
I mean, like, we're assuming that, oh, I didn't sell that one. Like, they were going to do it themselves. They just didn't tell you that.
Yep.
Or you gave a free estimate and they took one. So you have to stop hanging your self-worth on this, and you have to stop considering all clients being equal. The data will allow you to sleep at night. We go out there to market with a price Bible. I think we track probably 46 different individual types of projects within our unit pricing, and I have them on an index. Every price change for 6 years on there. I know if somebody says you're overpriced, I'll just say, compared to what?
Right.
Because in order to run my business and to have it be here next year and for the last 18 years, this is what we need to charge. And so you may not like it, but I'm going to increase my marketing and find people who do, because evidently we sell 42% of everything that we do. Mm-hmm. And you find that nice sweet spot of filling the calendar, charging the most you can, and then when you produce it profitably. And that's my equation for a perfect price. And that's applicable for a single person. For a 5-state, $150 million paint company, the most you can charge that fills your schedule, and when you produce it profitably. That is universally true. Oh. And you should be charging and producing at least $75 of revenue an hour. So take the benchmarks, do your job costing. But if you have a feelings-based argument about that's too high, we can't talk about price, and you've never job costed, I'm just going to be honest with you. I have nothing to say to you. You're missing 90% of the entire argument, and we can't even discuss this. That's the thing I won't discuss. Not locations, not this other stuff. If you've never job costed, we can't possibly talk about this because I can't trust your data. I can't trust what you're doing. So there you go.
Yep.
I took over your
right.
your final words.
All right. Hey, story of my 4 years.
This is not me getting spicy with you guys. This is me saying we have so many wives' tales and limiting beliefs about this stuff. It's a freaking math problem we all learned in 6th grade. It's algebra. We solve for X. Yeah. There's knowns and unknowns, and you put it in there. So, like I scream at my master's classes, you remember when we used to sit in 7th grade and that poor teacher would be like, when the hell are we going to use this? You had geometry and algebra. Congrats, folks. You created a business based on algebra.
Yeah.
Solve for X. So, all right, guys. Have a good weekend. I appreciate you. If you want our estimating playbook, you can email me, nick@nickslavik.com, and I will give you the same thing that Ian uses every single day to go out there and do what he does. I'm giving away all the secrets, Ian.
Free stuff,
all the secrets.
All of it's just pouring
all
out.
The secrets. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy Nick's used car lot.
Yeah.
Just giving it all away.
Oh, boy.
All right. So everybody have a great weekend. Take care of your families. Run a good business, and we'll see you next week.